My dear community, welcome to my channel. My name is Wei-Jen, and I help people to pursue their happiness, joy, and fulfillment in their life and relationships. Before I started today's subject, I want you to take a moment, ask yourself, have you ever had that voice inside your head that is telling you that I am not good enough, I'm not likable, and I'm not lovable? Or do you have that sense of guilt and shame about your own identity? Yet at the same time, there's a part of you that you crave for love, attention, affection, approval, validation for another person, whether it's your family member or your friends or your loved one, your partner. Because I do, and I still do today. So today's topic is about how can we transform our fear into courage and inspiration to attract love and abundance? To give you a little bit of my story, I am a recovered codependent. And I grew up in a familyhood where my mother is untreated severe codependent. And my father is a functional alcoholic, and he is also a narcissist and abuser. And when I was 7 or 8 years old, my parents, they used to fight a lot. They used to fight maybe 3 or 4 times a week from 9 p.m. until the next day, 5 a.m. In that such young age, I was the oldest. I have a younger sister, but I was the oldest. So I had to make sure that, everyone is happy so there won't be a fight tonight. And everyone's needs were being fulfilled. So I could have, at least some sleep. Because most of the time, in that age, I was very lack of sleep. And I still had to go to a kindergarten. I still had to go to school. Inevitably that, impacts to how I became an adult. And so when I just became an adult, I had a lot of character traits that's very much like either my father or my mom. I was definitely untreated codependent, and I didn't even know that. For sure, I was a caretaker. I was a people pleaser. I want to make sure that everyone will like me, and I live in this such image that everyone thinks that I should be. So that is also inevitably that, impacts to my relationship with other people, my relationship with my partners as well. I noticed that, thinking back, I noticed that I used to attract quite a lot, people who are, narcissists, or they are emotionally unavailable, just like my father, or they are user, or they are abuser, or they are either, functional or, active alcoholics or non-active alcoholics, or they are a spender, meaning that they just want to spend time to be in this relationship, but they don't have the desire to grow spiritually and emotionally and intellectually with me. They just felt comfortable, being where we were. Okay. At some point, a couple years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, in my last significant relationship, I hit my bottom. And I told myself that, enough is enough. This is enough. And I had enough. And so from there, I made a conscious decision that I decided that I was going to seek outside resource to start my, personal transformation journey and the spiritual awakening. So I went to a library, I borrowed so many different kinds of books. And then I went on YouTube to seek for, what are the other people they said about, getting the ex back, doing a no contact, those kind of thing. Of course, I went to see a therapist for a couple years, and I hired a relationship coach. I got myself involved into relationship seminar, workshop, and I also hired a life coach to guide me, right? So all these things, gave me a very fresh, perspective, to know that I wasn't the only person on this planet, who suffer codependency and, a toxic, relationship with myself and then with another person too, right? So with all those things, the education, the knowledge that I was receiving, I made a closer, I examined myself, my pattern with a closer look. And I understand today now that, I was very, very anxious. I was very attached with another person. And so I learned about, love attachment style. And I was very anxious. So my love attachment style was anxious. And if you want to know more about different love attachment style, you can go on a book. You can go find a book. It's called Attach, and where, it will tell you a lot more about love attachment style. But I can say that, through all the work that I've been doing, I'm a little bit more secure. Yet sometimes, I can still get into this anxious or avoidant, attachment style. It really depends on, each our life phases where we are, and through time, and then, also how much we really invest in ourselves, work on ourselves. Those love attachment style can actually shift and can be adjusted. Okay, so from there, I also learned, how to express my needs, my desire, my feelings, and my wants. Because, being in a relationship with ourselves or with another person actually requires a communication skill. And that is something that, I don't feel that school teaches us a lot, or our parents, teach us, a lot as well. So from what I've learned in the past, I learned communication can be sometimes quite challenging, especially if we're communicate from a place of desperation and neediness. Sometimes, it can hold us back, to not express our needs, desires, and feelings, because we're so afraid that once we express that, we speak our truth, the person or the thing that we want will just go away. And today I want to encourage you guys, when you communicate, when you express and speak from the place of love and of, non-attachment, and understand that, if it's yours, it will be yours. It's just a matter of the time. Now, the other thing I also learned about is management. How do I manage my emotion? And how do I regulate that emotion? Because, as I just shared with you about my childhood, there could be so many traumas that I had to work on that. And until today, I'm still working on that. So how to, managing our emotion and regulate our emotion is also very important, at least in a part of my life. And then one way that I manage and I regulate my emotion is through meditation. I sit, 30 minutes a day, close my eyes, and then just observing those emotions comes and go. Because emotions or feelings, they change. They're not going to stay there permanently with you. The quickest way to move on those negative emotions and feelings is to sit with it and be with those feelings and emotion, and observing those feelings comes and goes. That is the fastest way and then the most efficient way that you can move on. You can go through those. Now, I also got myself into some communities, like 12-step program, or I used to do volunteer work. Every Saturday I will wake up at 5 a.m. and go to my local community to help homeless people or mental ill people, for their daily meals. So I would serve them breakfast with, an organization. That's also another thing that I created this energy that, that I feel I have so much that I can be grateful for it. And I have a lot of abundance that I can help myself and then help others as well. So the point is that being at the service also is a way to transform our fear into courage and inspiration to attract the love and an abundance that we want. Because if we often feel that we're lack of this or that, right, then it's really easy for us to feel desperate and needy and not good enough, not likable, not lovable, right? Those negative voices. And then also getting myself involved into those voluntary, work with other people, it helps me to remind myself that I am not alone in this journey. And actually there are a lot of people, they either had those experiences that, I had before, or, there are some other people, they are going through the experiences that I had before. You just never know. As being surrounded by others, who are in a similar journey like mine, it really encourages and inspires me to take time and action, to manifest and to attract the love and abundance that I want. And then also I would say that, actions, like right now I am making this video by sharing my story with you guys here, and the coaching others, helping others, right? Or dive into a deeper inner work with a retreat program. Like this weekend, I'm about to jump into a retreat program. It's called Half Moon Process. And I am going to that retreat program for a whole week. So there won't be any devices or Wi-Fi or internet for me to record anything or, checking my emails or text message. I will be spending my undivided attention and time with other people, and then we're all gonna work on our inner self, right? So those are the actions, and those takes effort and attention and an energy to become a better self, to become a new self that we desire to be, and to have the courage to let go of the old self. And once I feel my reality is shift to this new reality, right? This new reality sometimes can feel pretty unpredictable, and we could have unexpected experiences, new experiences that is different than the old one, right? And my energy also shifts too. When I experience reality, they are different than before, right? The energy also becomes different too, because they are just related with each other. It also shifts how I view myself as well. Today I view myself with more self-love, peace, and abundance, instead of going out and then look for someone else to love me so I could feel better about myself. That's the old self that I used to be. So I hope this video and this story, inspires you a lot, and it helps you to transform your fear into courage and inspiration for you to take some actions. It could be a small actions, it could be a massive actions, but stay consistent, my dear, because when you stay consistent with your actions, small or big, believe it, something is gonna change and something is gonna be different than before. Enough said. I hope you like my video, and thank you so much for spending your time watching my video. If you feel that my content resonates with you and is so helpful for you, please subscribe my channel, like my video, and share my video with others. Because you never know, there are so many other people out there who is seeking for help and who is going through a similar journey as we are. And I want you to share those things with them. You never know how that's going to transform and inspire their life. If you want to dive into a deeper level of, this transformation, feel free to book a session with me. I offer a free 30 minutes coaching session, discovery call, just to find out, whether or not working with a coach is a right fit for you. Thank you so much again, and I wish you have a fabulous day. Namaste.